What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Jesse Almeida here, and welcome to the video. Now, definitely a weird way to open up this video, but in this reaction here, I react to Flight Mike's video on whether or not the NBA is rigged, and I reacted to this video live on stream, and I recorded it, and guess what, guys? The video, you can hear the audio, but in terms of, like, watching the video or whatever, it didn't come out too well. So I decided, yes, even though the video is not looking good, I'm still putting it out there because at the end of the day, you can still hear my thoughts, you can still hear Mike's thoughts on top of it, and I'm still analyzing what happened, so on and so forth. All he did was put up some NBA clips. That's all pretty much the video was, so it really wasn't much. So the audio was all that really mattered in that video, so that's why I'm still going to be putting it up. But just know, if you see your screen lagging a little bit, that's what's going on, is that the video is corrupting a little bit. But you can still hear the audio, you can still hear my thoughts, you can still hear Mike's thoughts, and that's pretty much all that mattered at the end of the day. So just a little disclaimer there, and without further ado, let's hop straight into this video. What is going on, you guys? It is your boy Jesse Almeida here on YouTube and on Beantown Takes, and today we are reacting to a video from Flight Mike, the Flight Mike. Is this proof that the NBA is rigged? Now, if you guys don't know what the hell this is basically going to talk about the no call from LeBron James on Saturday, the game that we attended, by the way. The foul that was not called on Jason Tatum. Everybody's been talking about it. LeBron has lost his mind over it. Obviously, as you guys saw, he threw a huge temper tantrum after the buzzer went off and there was no whistle. Reporters talking about it. Even after the game yesterday at Madison Square Garden, LeBron said, oh, the players won this game. The other night, the refs helped win the game, blah, blah, blah. He's been going off on last Saturday's game, and it's been nonstop. So here's my thoughts before we go into this video. Was it a foul? Yes. Did the Celtics get away with one? Yes. Were we gifted overtime? Yes. Were we gifted a win? No. Was the game decided from the refs? No. Why am I saying that? The reason why I'm saying that is because in the fourth quarter, the referee report came out, right? In the fourth quarter, there were a total of 4 bad calls, or 4 calls that were missed, or the wrong calls by the refs. 3 of them benefited the Lakers. 1 of them benefited the Celtics. And you could probably guess that one call is obviously the one at the end where Jason Tatum, quote-unquote, blocked LeBron. At that point, you know what? At that point, we're owed one. We are owed a call at that point. 3 bad calls on us in the fourth quarter in crunch time when we're trying to come back in a game. We are owed a call. And we got it on the biggest play of the game. At that point, who cares? If you're the Lakers, you got everything in that quarter. You gotten every single call. We can't have one. We can't have one. Seriously? That's my first thought. The second thought of why the Celtics still won that game. They still had overtime to win. Alright? The Lakers still had overtime to win that game. If they didn't cry about the call so much, if Patrick Beverley didn't pull out a camera saying, that's a foul, right? If their heads were in the game and not still back in the past where that call was made, they probably win that game because we didn't play that well. Right? They probably win that game. And if the Lakers won that game in overtime, guess what? Nobody's talking about the call. Nobody's talking about the bad call at all. They're going to be talking about how LeBron James beat the Celtics, who were just in the finals last year, right? And he beat the refs that night. That's what people are going to be talking about. They're not going to be talking about the refs missing that call in the fourth quarter. They're going to be saying, oh, what a great game by the Lakers. They beat the Celtics and the refs. That's what they would say. They would praise the Lakers. But now, because they didn't win the game, that's all that's being talked about from Saturday. I don't care. I think the Celtics played awful, but you know what? I'm going to sit here and say that the Celtics still won that game. The refs didn't give us that game. They gave us a chance to win in overtime, but did they give us the win? No, they did not. If the Celtics won by 1 point or 2 points in regulation, then I understand. Then the refs handed the Celtics the game. But you had overtime to win the game still. They didn't give us a win yet. They just gave us overtime. That's all they did. You still had overtime to win that game. LeBron James, you need to shut up. Listen, hold on 1 second. LeBron, you need to shut up. And I have one of your jerseys.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Alright? I'm gonna get hate from Celtics fans for showing that, right? But I'm a LeBron guy. He's my favorite player of all time. He's my favorite player of all time. And I'm even sitting here saying, LeBron, shut your damn mouth and stop being a baby. Alright? Stop being a baby. You got in every single call in the fourth quarter. The Celtics deserved a call. One. They deserved one. So that's my thoughts on that. We're going to watch Flight Mike here. Is this proof that the NBA is rigged? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think we got a great game on Saturday night. It was a fantastic win for the Boston Celtics. And that's just my thoughts on it. That is all my thoughts on it. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe now if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go check out our website. Links in the description down below. And without further ado, stop streaming this video.
It's over. Lakers furious. They thought he was fouled. LeBron James so upset.
He's on his hands and knees.
Regulation is
to
over.
get
We go to the
one more call.
I watch basketball every single day. I watch these games every single day, and I don't see it happening to nobody else. It's just weird.
It's been a very...
I'll admit, though, I will admit, there are times where this dude gets absolutely hacked, right? There are times where this dude gets absolutely cross-handed, cross-armed, whatever, right? Whatever you want to say, right? And he gets nothing. I will say that, right? But this one right here, there wasn't much, dude. There was not much.
very rough 2 weeks for the Los Angeles Lakers, and the way some of their games ended is leading many Los Angeles Lakers fans to believe that their games have been fixed or rigged. So I went back and did some research on the last 2 weeks of the Los Angeles Lakers schedule and decided to compile a bunch of clips for you to decide whether or not the NBA is actually actively fixing the Lakers games. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. This video took some time to do, and now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Usually when this happens, we all
building your online business?
Damn, I was just dancing and all that, and you throwing an
Go
ad
to
at me?
Wix.com
Thank you.
and set up your store on a single integrated.
We all make bank. PrizePicks is hooking us up for the Super Bowl with a free square from Patrick Mahomes. We have picks and you 0.5 passing.
Okay. Oh yeah. By the way, gambling.
Kenneth Gainwell gets more than
now legal in
out this.
That's just on a side note.
He's hit. You.
Okay. All right. We get it.
And thank you. This season has been a mixed bag for the Los Angeles Lakers, and coming into this season as a Laker fan, I told you guys myself, I thought we didn't have a single chance at competing in the Western Conference. It's nothing against the Lakers, it's just on paper, it seemed like multiple teams were several orders of magnitude better than them. I mean, you look at the Golden State Warriors, the defending champions, for the most part, their roster makeup was more or less the same, except for some key role players that got the bag that didn't want to return to the Warriors. Little did we know that that would slow them down considerably considerably. I mean, I'm sure Draymond Green punching the living crap out of Jordan Poole had something to do with that as well. The Phoenix Suns were supposed to be a contender as well, but it seems like they're imploding from within. The Los Angeles Clippers were supposed to challenge the Golden State Warriors for Western Conference supremacy, and so far, they haven't necessarily been able to do that, but they are currently climbing the rankings. The point of this being, as a result of how this season has gone so far, the Lakers shifted gears. They went from a team that was essentially waiting for Russell Westbrook's contract to expire to a team that is trying to come up with quick fixes to their roster without sacrificing their future in order to potentially make a push for Western Conference dominance.
I want to speak on this for a second. I want to speak on this. Laker fans, how do you feel about Russell Westbrook? If you guys are tuning into this video, Laker fans, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys feel on Russell Westbrook. Because me, personally, sitting, I don't know, technically 5 rows from the court, right? Counting the seats in front of us, like the courtside seats or whatever, right? Or whatever you call them, the baseline seats or whatever. But my row was B, A, and then you have those CC, BB, AA that's right in front of us. So technically 5 rows from the court, but I was sitting right next to the visiting tunnel, obviously. This dude does not look like that he's focused in any single game whatsoever. He's just, you know, trying to have fun. He's enjoying the music, dancing around and all that, right? He's pointing to his brother across the court, whatever, trying to get him to come over to say what's up and all that. He has no focus on the game of basketball whatsoever. And then after they lose a heartbreaking game that they choked away, right? He's walking off the court, right? He jumps, smiling like, yeah, it's all good. Everything is all good. How do you guys feel about him? Let me know in the comment section down below. Because if that was me, being a fan of that team, I would be pissed about that.
I can't really blame them. I don't think any of us predicted the Sacramento Kings being in 3rd place in the Western Conference at this time of year. And honestly, good on the Kings, man. Their fans, if there are any fans left, have gone through hell over the past 2 decades. I mean, even before the past 2 decades, because if we're talking about rigging games, there's no fan base that is more familiar with that concept than the Sacramento Kings. So we have a lot to get to here, man, including the fact that the referee for the Los Angeles Lakers versus Boston Celtics game was reportedly a Celtic fan, and we even have definitive proof for it. But in order to get to that, we need to go all the way back to where this started, when the Los Angeles Lakers faced off against the Dallas Mavericks on January 12th, 2023. This game was a thrilling game, by the way. It went all the way to double overtime. And did it give you a Tim Donaghy-like vibe? Well, let's see it for ourselves. In regulation, this game was absolutely remarkable, by the way. Luka Doncic had to hit a step-back 3 in order to send it to overtime versus the Los Angeles Lakers, which is a remarkable way to send it. But here's where it gets a little shady here. The Lakers did have an opportunity to win this game. And take a look at this final possession. LeBron James finds Troy Brown Jr. for the 3-pointer, and you can make the argument that Troy Brown actually got fouled.
That's a foul. That was a foul.
Over here, but unfortunately it was a no call. Now I want you guys to bear in mind, the NBA is a very difficult sport to officiate, so it could very well be that this was just a no call that the referee missed. But the fact that this has been happening so many times and has affected the Los Angeles Lakers record to this extent, definitely a little surprising, because the next incident would come 3 days later. I was actually at this game watching it live. It was when the Los Angeles Lakers faced off against the Philadelphia 76ers, and they were getting a lot of momentum.
Could have used a win, Lakers.
Towards the end of the game, Russell Westbrook decided to push the ball up court as much as he could, and then faced off against Joel Embiid. One would assume this is a mismatch. He would take the ball to the rack, and you could make the argument that once again, Russell Westbrook.
I don't know. That one's a little iffy. I don't think that was a foul. I think that was just a bad shot.
The ball to the rack, and you could make the argument that once again Russell Westbrook was fouled here.
Oh, it's underneath, and the Lakers are gonna lose it.
But unfortunately, nothing was called.
be
This
late
brings us
night.
to our third incident before we get to the main incident that went absolutely viral recently. That's when the Los Angeles Lakers faced off against the Sacramento Kings. In a game where the Lakers were down by 4 with 12 seconds left, there was a remarkable opportunity to potentially tie the game in a very awesome way. As a matter of fact, if I was in the entertainment business, I would actually try to rig an overtime here. I guess that could be a counterpoint to my argument, but check out the sequence that would play.
They did to LeBron. LeBron going to kick it over to Nunn. He leans in. Got it!
With 12 seconds left, LeBron James would find Kendrick Nunn for a three-pointer. Kendrick Nunn would miraculously make this shot. You can make the argument that he was fouled here, but unfortunately, the referees didn't call it. In this instance, I guess you could say if the NBA was really starting to rig games, then you would assume they would push for overtime over, just rigging it for a small market in California to win. I guess that could be a counter argument, but I'm just giving you incidents leading up to the most famous game out of all of them, and that's the Los Angeles Lakers facing off against the Boston Celtics. This game was littered with no calls and was trending in one particular direction. The calls were so bad that Jason Tatum seemed nervous as he was saying good game to LeBron James on his Instagram story. And of course, you had moments like this where Patrick Beverley was walking up to the referee and showing him a camera to try to indicate
you got 3 calls
that
that
there was a foul that wasn't called.
You already
And the
had 3
referee
calls.
reacted by giving him a technical foul.
We was due to get one.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation?
Foul. The referee that is giving him a technical foul at this point is very important to our story because there is proof that this referee's whole family is filled with Celtic fans. As a matter of fact, following this game that the Los Angeles Lakers faced off against the Boston Celtics, this tweet...
Okay, that's where I say, okay, you're getting a little bit ridiculous. So none of these NBA refs had a favorite team growing up? Really? Come on, that's just stupid. That's a stupid
leaked
comment.
out of this referee's wife saying, "Help me wish a very happy birthday to my husband today." You can catch him tonight on NBA Game 2, Golden State versus Dallas. This is confirmed to be this referee's wife. And his wife, for some reason, would decide to also tweet this picture saying, "Current mood, let's go Boston." Which, man, that is,
That is not an intelligent thing to tweet if your
not.
husband's a referee in the NBA.
I can understand an NBA referee's family being a fan of a particular team. You probably shouldn't share that information with the world. As a matter of fact, following this being found out, his wife deleted her Twitter. And apparently, Boston Celtics only lost 2 games with this referee reffing their games. Which, by the way, we did do some digging into this claim, and it's completely false. I think Lake Shoyo, who's, by the way, he's hysterical. If you're a Laker fan, I highly recommend you follow him. Was just exaggerating at the time, and some people took the tweet seriously because the Boston Celtics record when Eric Lewis officiates their games is 49 wins and 28 losses for the Celtics. Now, was this game actually rigged? Well, there were multiple no calls throughout this game, and it was a little bit more egregious than the first 3 incidents that I showed you. Starting out with this foul that was called on Anthony Davis. Check this out.
This foul call on Anthony Davis. There is some contact, but it seems marginal contact.
It's created by Tatum. I don't think it's a foul.
Yeah,
no foul is going on here at all whatsoever. We can show you multiple angles of this. There is no foul on this play or on this play at all whatsoever. And yet Dennis Schroeder gets called for a foul by the same referee. Yeah, you even have Darvin Ham saying that's so bad. I mean, you can look at it over and over again, and it's clear that there is no foul being called. This was also a foul on Anthony Davis when Anthony Davis is the one being held. And this is without us mentioning the viral LeBron James moment.
Lakers furious.
Kind of gave him an elbow.
Excuse me, and it's now overtime.
I'd have been okay with a no call there.
Regulation is over. We go to the 5-minute OT.
But also take a look at this jump ball with Anthony Davis and Al Horford and tell me if this isn't favored towards one side or another. Check this out. Ball's clearly going towards the Boston Celtics side over here, and it's just not a really good look for this referee at this point, especially with his wife tweeting what she did. Here's another indication that the ball is clearly trending towards the Boston Celtics side as this is going on, and that's before we get to the final moments of this game. With the Lakers up by 3, Jaylen Brown would
you know what? I'm gonna say if that's the same play that I'm thinking about, right? Was that after we won the challenge? Yeah, that was. That should have been our ball anyways. What? That should have been our ball anyways. I think that was the same one where we went up for like a steal or whatever. Anthony Davis flopped, right? Brogdon got all ball, right? We grabbed the ball, a foul was called, and then we won the challenge, and then they somehow called jump ball. That should have been our ball anyways. Like, why was there a jump ball? Give us the ball, right? I don't even care what that says. Give us the ball. It's our ball anyways.
Put back this basket. You make an argument that it was a foul on Jaylen Brown. Instead, it was called as a foul and one in favor of Jaylen Brown. This gave Jaylen Brown the opportunity to tie the game. And a huge shout out to Lake Shoyo, obviously a huge super fan of the Los Angeles Lakers, for digging all this up, because I wouldn't have been able to catch this on my own. He calls out the fact that this referee starts running back and then changes his mind and calls a late foul a few seconds later.
That was the right call. Go back and watch it. He clearly smacks him on the head. That's a foul. Go back and watch it. That's the right call. Like, what?
Check this out. He starts running towards the other side of the court.
You guys almost got another call there, too.
On Jaylen Brown instead. And then, of course, there's this famous moment where Jason Tatum clearly fouls LeBron James, and LeBron James loses his freaking mind at the fact that no foul was called. Honestly, I think my favorite moment of all this is the fact that LeBron James was actually like looking for the cameras at a specific point to see if the cameras were on him, and then he continued dramatizing himself a little bit more. A really funny commentary on this is none other than Chandler Parsons' reaction to this, which is baffling.
I could watch my French bulldog get ran over by the mailman right now, and I would not react like that. I swear. By the way,
this caused Chandler Parsons to trend, with people making jokes about his French bulldog getting run over, which we're gonna stay away from that. I want to make something clear. I'm not the type of guy that comes out here and says,
"Oh, the reason why my Lakers stink is because the games are rigged."
Rather, this was more for me to compile a bunch of data together and ask you guys, do you think these games were rigged? Personally, I'm a little skeptical when it comes to the NBA, primarily because I watched the Tim Donaghy documentary, and I don't necessarily know if I could believe him. I mean, in that documentary, he states that referees are told to influence the outcome towards particular stars in the NBA. In this case, however, it seems like the outcome isn't being influenced towards the face of the NBA for the past like 10 plus years, LeBron James. It's being influenced against him. At the same time, how honorable is a referee like Tim Donaghy? Could you really honor his word? Personally, whenever it comes to sports, I just assume that refs sometimes suck at their job. And it's really funny to me because I actually had to cover this exact same story for the championship games on microphone for the NFL. So the fact that I'm experiencing this in both of the sports that I cover is baffling to me. So let me know in the comments section down below, what do you guys think about all this? Do you think this is just the NBA rigging games, or do you think this is bad officiating? Because at the end,
so I think, right, the Celtics deserve to call, right? Based off the referee report, right? Celtics deserve to call, and they got it at the end. All right, we got a gift. We got a gift. But was that the reason why the Celtics won? Was that the reason why the Celtics won? I don't think so. I really don't think so. They still had overtime to win that game. Their minds were still on the bad call in the overtime, and they ended up losing that game. That's where I stand on that. So, leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe now if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go check out our website. Links in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Been your boy Jesse, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later, guys.